Good morning. Happy Monday. It is going to be an interesting week. I hope you guys are all having a great Monday morning this far. Well, for some of you, it's afternoon. It's lunchtime for some of you. So there's that. But by the way, for some reason, I don't know what's going on with my intro song, but I pay for the license through Licked and YouTube keeps dinging it. So I've had to dispute them all. It only happens on certain videos though, which is really interesting. So thankfully they've been turning them like going back and fixing them, but I'm not going to play it until it's like fixed in their system because it's just a pain in the butt to go in and dispute them. So no intro song for a couple days. We'll see what happens. I might have to change it up some, but it's just the whole like it's so weird because once you send the license stuff, it appears anyways. But anywho, hey, Claus. Hey, Whispers. Whispers, thank you for being here for 3 months. Really appreciate it. Hey, Cash. It doesn't feel right, though, without my intro song. It truly doesn't. Hey, Chatty, Roro, Alpha Male. Today's probably going to ruffle some feathers, which is fine. That's what I'm known for doing. So, hey, Janice. Hey, Rondi, Toe Beans. We Gob Sheet. Catherine, Malicious Intent. Miss Brittany, Mickey 44, Marcy, Beaverhausen, Tonka Girl, Nicole, Mystic Butterfly, Tracy, Chico's. It'll get fixed. It's just something in their system. I disputed like 3 of them and they've already been cleared, but it's weird. I don't know what's happening. I know I love my intro song too. So, and everything's good because it's paid for. I have the licensing and everything. It's just one of those not registering yet. And it's funny because I've had the license for over a year, so we'll see. Hey, Marie. Hey, Cheesy. 13th Hour. Emily Pickles. Petunia. Nursey Kins. We're going to go in a minute. Hey, Deets. You're here for feather ruffling. Well, I seem to do that without even really attempting to do it. Hey, Terry. I know it doesn't feel right, does it? Hey, Vivian. I'll make a backup just in case. Hey, Trish Green Eyes, Kathleen, Awkward Nerd, Sarah Wood. Well, the freaking internet is on fire. Hey, AMAC, Angel Sleuth, Daisy Girl, everybody else, Brandon Barn. Are you going to get dizzy on this one? Hopefully not. This is pretty straightforward. This is not going to be very confusing. Well, it shouldn't be very confusing, but it seems that it's confusing for a lot of people. So some of the questions I've been getting, I just want to address a few things that have been brought to my attention or asked of me. So first and foremost, no, I did not fundraise on behalf of anybody for blip boards. I had 2 people that I'm connected to send me money because they didn't have the apps that were available. Like one didn't have Cash App to send, so I forwarded it over for the person, so on and so forth. But no, I did not raise any other funds for it. I donated out of my own stuff anyways. So that's a no. Secondly, transparency was expected from start on all of them. Now, please hear me out when I say this. Like, yes, I will absolutely say go ask these people for receipts. Questioning any of this is absolutely necessary. That is something I stand for. I don't know how anybody's confused that I don't think transparency is needed. I don't know how that got twisted in anybody's heads that I don't think transparency is needed. Duchess was showing receipts. That's why I was like, go ask if you have other questions, like go ask. I don't know what else people want me to say there. I'm not able to like gather all these receipts and show you myself. So I'm going to send you to the source, but she's been showing her stuff. So there's that. So let's separate that part out. Okay. Duchess is a totally different situation. She has been showing her receipts, so on and so forth. Now let's talk about the other people. Yeah, there's some major issues. Sorry, just going to say what it is. There's some major questions that should be asked. Huge questions that should be asked. 30%. Yeah. I'm not sure how many people can read YouTube terms of service and get so many different amounts either. That's another question, but here we are. So why didn't I jump up on Queens yesterday to question what was being said? Because I really truly didn't know what the fuck was going on. Because when I told you guys I stopped watching over there, I stopped watching over there. I saw the writing on the wall. You can go back and hear me talk about something wasn't sitting well with me. It just wasn't. I also made the comment yesterday that I promised that I wouldn't hop on panels. I promised that I wouldn't hop on panels with racists. Okay. Not that I would never go on anybody's panel. I said I would never panel up next to a fucking known racist. Let's be very clear on what I said and what I was talking about. However, when the opportunity is there and questions need to be asked and they continue to do those things and kind of insulate, I'm going to fucking hop up and question somebody. It had nothing to do with me not going on Queen's panel. It had nothing to do with her at all. I don't panel next to racists, period. That's it. I don't send myself spending time over there, and you can feel how you can twist and turn however you want to see. However it is what it is. She said what she said. She stood on what she said. They've said a lot more, so on and so forth. Okay, end of that. I watched JP's last night. I actually finished it this morning. Ooh, hot damn. The OGDC definitely does not forget when receipts are being asked for, they should be provided. This whole like spin talk, circle talk. See, the art of circle talk doesn't work over here on anybody. Faith manipulation, God knows what I'm doing. God sees my heart. No, ma'am. God says show the fucking receipts. Okay? There you go. JP, if you hear this, I'm sure you're at work, but if you hear this later on, the live stream that you're looking for on Dagos is June 7th and 8th. That's when they raised, I think it's about at the end of the June 8th stream, they said that they raised about $500 over there. I don't know the status of that, but that's one of the ones you were looking for yesterday. That did happen. I was all for this with the billboards. I'll tell you that. But I really expected transparency across the board. I donated, have no problem with that. But I also had a major issue, and I'm just going to be honest with everybody. The fact of how it was done. To me, it's quality over quantity. And when you're getting 2 6-second blips on a billboard and 30 of them at times that people aren't even driving by or like what's the good of that? So there's that too. So I had some issues right away with some things. But again, not my thing. They volunteered to take it over. Let them be. But I'm gonna tell you right off the jump, just off the top of my calculations in my head. I'm just gonna throw out some numbers here, so bear with me because this is all I know. I know that a sub sent 1,000 to start with the Clue stuff. That was matched by Clue and Cletus for 1,000, making $2,000. I know that there was a $500 donation sent to help get him going. So that's $2,500. I know that I sent, between me and a few others, $200 to that one. So that's $2,700 right there off of just a couple donations. I also know that later on, Chris Proudfoot sent $1,000. So that's $3,700. Then I know for a fact that they claimed that they raised $1,500 on Truce. So that's what, $5,200. And then I know for a fact that Dago said that they raised, and I think two little short couple minute sections, about $500. So that's up to like what, $6,200, and that's just a couple of them off the top. That's nothing beyond that. So there's that. That's all I know. But something's not making sense, and why, I'm not really sure. I'm really not sure. But don't ever think for 1 second that I don't think questions should be asked. Now, let me tell you something else. The people that are asking the questions, yeah, you can sit all the fucking way down. Not JP. Not the other people. I'm talking about Brittany J specifically. You sit all the fucking way down. Sit all the way down. Shut the fuck up. And I'm going to show you a little clip of that. You sit the fuck down. Sit down. Shut up. Tiffany Marie, you're looking like the biggest clown out here trying to come at me and actually shaming somebody that has been horrifically bullied and mocked and victimized on multiple social media platforms, a veteran of our country. and you use that person to attempt to shame me, you're just a sick fucking twisted bitch. Period. Point blank. End of story. Like, you go at Duchess over billboards, which wasn't ever over billboards, which you have no business even talking about because you're just a whole fucking loser. Anyways, and you go at her personal life, use this whole little guise of you're doing the right thing to dox her out, go after her husband, and then because I stand up because she's my friend and say that's fucking fucked up and bullshit, you decide to come at me and make me into all these memes. Ma'am, are you that insecure? That's all I got to ask. Are you really that insecure? Because you don't take up any space in my head. I had to be sent the videos and the photos that you were made. I don't follow you. You're nothing to me. You don't take up any space. The only thing I think about is when I'm letting my boobs hang low, like, would this bother Tiffany? When I'm sitting in the mirror, like flopping my tassels around, does this bother Tiffany? Oh my God. Like, you've shown what you are on this app. I don't have to show that. You're doing a fine job doing that all on your own. Keep going at me. Keep showing everybody who you are. Be that big old badass bitch you are. The transphobic, racist, insecure, weak-spined, good for nothing piece of shit you are. I don't have to show it. You're doing plenty of that on your own. Okay, moving on. So there's that. So the people that are asking for receipts have no business asking for receipts, period. But then it goes off like those two specifically. Other than that, ask away. I think transparency is needed. I think that for me, especially, like, this is a huge thing, especially being these are the people that are demanding receipts of Seth Rogers. Like, the irony of all of this thing. Nah. If you expect transparency from the father of a missing child, even down to when he was at work, but you won't show transparency of what you've taken in on billboards for a missing child, there's some issues there. And that's just going to set people on edge. And maybe there's nothing behind it. Maybe it is all on the up and up. But until you show that, people are going to question it and have every reason to, because the money is being raised off of the back of a missing child. And that's bullshit. Truly. Like, it can be done as a good deed, or it can be done in the way it's being done. And it is. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. Sorry, hold on. 1 second. Hell yeah. And what you guys choose to do with your money is, we've seen, like, people forget. And I'm going to show a clip of something right quick. That's just the irony of all this kind of like coming to pass. I am not about to tell you where to spend your money or what to believe in. I actually thought there would be transparency on this. I'm really disappointed to see there's not, because I was really excited. Like, people who do the right thing have no problem doing the right thing and showing receipts. They just don't. They don't, because their intent is pure and it doesn't get all this messy way. Now, Duchess did ask for people to volunteer to help and take over it. I opted not to get in that arena. Very, very realistically, why? Like, I don't have the time to deal with all that shit. So I know it's going to be said, well, you didn't take it over. You could have done. No, I don't have time. I couldn't give it the proper energy and the time that it's needed to be able to make sure it's done right. So I was not. I would help anybody get it going, because I want to believe in people's genuine intent, especially when it comes to missing kids. But sadly, they prove us wrong over and over again. So there's that. I think, again, carry on, demand those receipts, ask for those receipts, because it's the only way that we can ensure that the right things are being done. Now, I have a problem with the motivation behind some of this. So when Duchess did them, it wasn't about, and this is my opinion, it was not about trying to do it to one up the parents of a missing child or to hate bond over other people, such as Betty. I think that's grimy to begin with. Like, when you're using the hatred of another creator or another person to be like, look at me, I'm this great human. That's not really landing. It doesn't say you're a good human being, that the intent wasn't pure to begin with. I don't know if that makes sense. But the motivation behind most of this has been out of hate. Duchess is the only one that I can say stand there and say it wasn't. It was, she wanted to do it to get Sebastian's face out there. And that's very clear and very separate. The other ones were, we're going to one up, we're going to do this. And it didn't start out that way, but it quickly turned that way. And then the ones from TikTok. Okay, let me just shut that whole fucking thing down. You guys, do you really think I care what a bunch of TikTok twits are going to say about me? Do you really think it hurt my feelings that some fucking random lady by the name of Barbecue Lady said, I don't know who you are? Do you really think I give a fuck? Do you really think come on now. This is what they do. They sit over there, they talk shit, they call themselves true crime. If you ever for 1 second think that it's going to take up space in my head that some lady that put herself in the position of having a tip line for a missing child is going to hurt my feelings, you're wrong. MR68. Well, that's a good question too. Yeah, there's a lot of shit. Nope. There's a lot of shit, but if you're going to be demanding transparency, that needs to be around the board. I mean, it is what it is. Let me see. Let me give you an example of what I compare the TikTok twits to. Do you remember back in the Marvon and Dre McRae story when the admins of the Facebook group started all the bullshit, got in with creators, fuckery abound, one by one they fell out, more advocates would come in, but every one of them were motivated because they hated Dre, not because they cared about Marvon, because they hated Dre. Do you remember that? For some of you, you'll remember. This is very similar, just a different app. No different. You could just switch them out. Same thing. They do a bunch of fuckery. They involve themselves. Yep. Yeah. I wouldn't. Yeah, I have some feelings. Well, and she was summoned over here. Like, she was hunted down and summoned. Like, she was contacted by those people to actually, I think Clue said that she reached out to Barbecue Lady. If that doesn't tell you all you need to know right there, like, she invited that chaos to come back over here because it's called content farming. Of course, there's nothing that those people have that's going to change any of the foundation of the story. It just causes more chaos for Seth, Chris, and Katie. Truly, it is what it is. No, there is a need to pick on TikTok, Wolfie. TikTok is an absolute disaster zone, especially when it comes to true crime. I love TikTok as far as cat videos, cow videos, all the fun things. But when it comes to this arena, yeah, it's a shit show. Did you get your asparagus for this live? Thank you, Wolfie, for the support. But no, I did not. I know, Bree. Thank you for being here for 18 months. I really appreciate you. Okay, so there's that. No, nothing's changed here. It's just it's different people doing the same exact thing. It's the same playbook. It's the same everything every time. But I want to show one thing that just made me fucking fall over with laughter because it's absolutely insane what happens on TikTok, truly. Okay, so I'm gonna take you back to my buddy over here, BJ, because she just can't help she provides content. Okay, I'm just gonna say it what it is. Thank you, Brittany, for providing epic amounts of cringeworthy content. There you go. You're welcome. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want to show an example and make an example out of something right quick. Here we go.
So it'll be a late night stream, but
this is from her backup channel. Is this real life from yesterday?
We'll definitely go live on the main channel tonight. After Cher's finished with her live.
Definitely not my buddy in all intensive purposes. That was a fucking lie. Chalk that up. Nonsense lie. Definitely not my buddy. Definitely not somebody I'd ever sit at a table with. Definitely not somebody that, yeah. But just for her little fifis, I figured I'd call her a buddy instead of a fucking raging bitch today. So there's that.
Oh, it's good to see you. Hey, Ohio, Stephanie. Hey, Shayna. Hey, Mandy, my beautiful friend.
Yes, hi Mandy. It's me.
Always so good to see Mandy.
I love
just,
her.
You'll see why I'm doing this in a second.
I do too. I want to the manipulation here kills me though. Let's keep going because we got to rush.
First of all, this bitch said manipulation. Ma'am, sit all the way down.
Yep. Because I've seen how it, just like you said, they're going to pick it apart regardless. They're always going to be questions. Somebody's always going to sit there and say, you didn't show this, you didn't show that.
She's playing JP's entrance to Queen Bee's. That's what they're going over, is Queen Bee's stream with JP questioning Clue and Truth.
You know what I mean?
Can I say something? I mean, like, the only thing I kind of get what Clue's saying, because it's like a lot of people are pointing out problems, not pointing out solution and how to solve the issue. Basically, the money. I would say probably.
Anytime, it's pretty simple. Show all the transactions that came in for Billboard. Be transparent with everything incoming and outgoing. They should match. There should be no issues with that. You can go in. You can take. Here's the crazy thing. And now this might blow some of your minds. Cash App has an entire area that gives you statements. I'm sure PayPal does too. You can easily go in and redact the names. And for those saying that they can unredact, first of all, if you know what you're doing, you use a red color, you use a black color, you use a yellow or an orange, then you cover it with black again. It's almost impossible to unredact at that point in time. There's ways of doing it, but there's a whole concise statement that Cash App, I know for a fact, will give you at the end of a month. So all of it's streamlined. You can even go in and subtract, like if they have a memo that says, for you, go get coffee, you can take those out right there too and show the entire statement. It's really not that complicated, but they're making it complicated.
The solution probably, if I was to think about it, is probably you have to make sure, a separate bank.
Arctic, what are you doing over here? Apparently the cool new thing the kids are doing is bringing racist homophobes up on panel. I can't tell you how just, I know. And I wanted to be very clear that the only reason why I went up there yesterday, because I did tell you guys I would never panel with that person ever again, was just because there's no opportunity otherwise. Like, she sits there all day. So I wasn't going to let that deter me from asking a question, but I will never, no, I do not condone any of Clue's bullshit, period, point blank, end of story. And if that upsets anybody, sit with that. I'm sorry. No. That's a no for me.
Count for it. You'd have to make sure that you'd have some sort of show deductions, and you'd have to show deductions from YouTube, deductions for taxes, and all that stuff. But the thing is, it's like, I feel like the reason why Clue says, like, I don't want to waste all this time doing all this and putting this out there is because people are not being genuine to her. Like, they're just really not being fair to her because they already have a bias in their mind that they think she's thieving or stealing. So
I don't agree with that. And the only reason I'm going to say that is because JP was being genuine with her intent.
Her, it's like, well, why do I have to put this all out here to prove it all if it's just going to be picked apart and I'm going to be called a liar and a thief anyway? And that's probably what the situation is.
My thing is,
I know, Arctic, but I just wanted to clarify that again because there's so many people in here and people have been like, I thought you would never panel it. Yeah, but I am with you 100%. Thank you for the support. We'll go in a second. It's really windy out here.
My thing is, I want to say this. My thing is, the receipts are out there. The billboards are up. People are seeing the billboards. They're showing the pictures. The billboards are up.
We're at.
Actually, factually speaking, Duchess went out after the first couple billboards got put up in the new campaign when Clue and those guys took it over, and sat there for a long period of time twice, spent her own gas money, went to find these blip boards, and they never blipped. And that was because the way it was set up was 2 6-second. And that was originally, I think it was fixed eventually. I have no idea. I had nothing to do with the back end. Again, Duchess offered help. They didn't take it. But Duchess was all, and you can see the difference in the quantity over quality. So if you look at the campaigns, Duchess did fewer billboards and a higher amount of money on those, so they would be seen at target times of the day and more often. Now they did more blip boards. Clue and those guys did more blip boards with fewer blips to cover more area. But again, that's a personal thing. I'm all about quality over quantity. That's a personal choice of mine. There we are.
Cheesy, where at? 1 or 2? 1 or 2? Not only that, are you freaking serious? 10? B10? If I did these billboards, y'all would rip me to shreds. And you know it. You
wouldn't even be able to live.
You don't even have to do blip boards. Truly, you do enough of the other bullshit constantly to and you're not ripped to shreds. You're just, it's pointed out what you say.
Through the day.
But the upcoming part right here is about to make some of you fall over.
No.
To be honest.
And not only that, I'm 100% being genuine. I don't care if it's Clue or if it's Justin for all.
Oh, Spanky.
If Justin was doing this,
Spanky, my friend. Justin, justice for all. Anybody hear what she just said? Okay, wait. If it was Spanky doing this, let's continue.
and there was no transparency behind it,
Oh,
I would absolutely call Justin and ask him, can he make it to where everybody can see everything? Because it's not a good look.
and you know what he's going to tell you? Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Because for over a year, Spanky was called to the carpet on intentional misappropriation of funds that they were raising on behalf of Letitia Bias. There is detailed back and forth of Spanky and Molly lying to their subs, telling them that the money that they were donating was going here, that it was going there, that it was for an attorney, that it was for this, it was for that. It was all of these things, right? We went through that for over a year and they wouldn't show anything. They wouldn't show a single bit of transparency. Not a single bit. And we were so terrible for calling it out and asking for transparency. But you would just call him up and ask him to do it, and you think he would? Good one, though.
It looks shady. It looks effing shady.
Thank you, Miss W, for becoming a member.
And then when you go to ask her about it, she doubles down and tells you you're being immature, tells you you're effing sad that you can't think that somebody's doing something good for a missing child. And then even go so far as, watch, she manipulates in every way. It's totally, absolutely shady and suspicious.
Ma'am. This is why I have a problem with the people that are inserting themselves and asking for transparency, because it's ones like this. You should probably just not speak on this topic at all, especially using Spanky as an example, because we have shown patterns of behavior that he has never been transparent about anything he raises on behalf of tragedies, anything like that. Spanky is justice for all. Then it just goes from there. But you should not be even interjecting into this arena. Truly. Sometimes you learn to sit it out. Carry on.
I was a person who donated to the cause when Duchess did it. I did it a few times with Clue. I believed in the cause. I was excited about it. And I was excited about these Blipboards because there's something that we all can afford. And I do not want to do my own Blipboard. I don't have the time to sit there and screw around with that. So I was excited that these guys were taking it on, and I could just donate my money and say, here, I did my thing. They're taking care of it. I was happy. And that's why I made the first original video I did. I did not make one on Duchess. I'm sorry, Duchess, because I assumed that Duchess was well known in the community, and I didn't think that anybody would call her out as a scammer. Now, Clue is newer.
See, and that's something right there. It doesn't matter how well you're known or anything like that. Transparency is needed across the board. It should be an expectation that anybody has for themselves, let alone for others. Like, the more well known you are, the more trustworthy you are. I think the more demand for transparency is needed, because that's an expectation. And that's why Duchess did it. That's why she showed her receipts. She didn't have a problem doing that, unlike it's being twisted. But she showed them, and people that have questions or anything that's missing or anything like that have been able to go to her and talk to her about it. That's totally there.
To the community. And that was one reason why I put the video out. I did, because I thought, oh boy, she's new. They're going to be coming after her saying she's scamming. And I just showed what she showed, that she had the billboards up.
And I'm really sick and tired of hearing this. They're new. They're new. No, they're not. No, they're fucking not. Let's back it up here. Go back to the Idaho 4 case. They are not new. This is not new. This is not. And I don't give a fuck if you are new. This is common decency when you are raising money on Blipboards for a missing child. Transparency should be the first and foremost expectation. That should never be questioned, that transparency is needed. It should be easy. And I think anybody in the future that does anything like this, there needs to be something else set up to do this type of stuff. But if somebody was to do this, they need to show a singular, this is everything that was taken in, and this is all of it spent here. That's the only way you can really ensure that there's no problems. What did she do when Spanky? Yeah. Well, yeah, there's that too, Bree. Thank you very much for the support. But yeah, she don't want to talk about any of that. she wants to say she would just call him up on the phone and say, hey, where's transparency? Ma'am, pick a different person.
Up, it says remove signs, so it shows that she purchased the billboards. And I thought that just because she was showing the money was spent, I figured that was good enough. They called me and Queen Bee out for saying it wasn't really receipts, but to me, who donated, thought that was just fine. Those were good enough receipts for me. I see the billboards are up.
Yeah.
That's good enough for the money I put in.
I'm
But
saying,
but everybody else is like, oh, you got to show in and out, in and out. All I need to see is that the billboards have been up for months and months and months.
And I would,
That's not free.
I would also say this: if those people who are making these comments about, they're not doing it proper, well, I mean, you have channels, you have the opportunity to raise money. Why don't you show people the better way to do it? Why don't you do? You don't even have to do it for Sebastian Rogers. Do it for another missing kid. Maybe like.
See, and really, truly, it shouldn't be this complicated. Show in and out. That's it.
You set up maybe Brittany J or whoever who is.
This is crazy.
There you go, B Tim.
Oh,
There you
is.
go. You always
There
gotta
it
say Brittany J, don't you, B Tim? Hey, B Tim.
Well, because you fucking open up every goddamn live stream of yours with a fucking grift. Okay, ma'am? It was coils and fucking spark plugs that you were emotional. You didn't ask for it, but you were dry begging like a motherfucker. Come on, shut up.
I got a question.
What's your question?
How come y'all were so easy to forget that she said she wants to start a GoFundMe to send African Americans back to Africa?
And the whataboutisms instantly start. Can we stay on topic ever? This is what constantly happens. Anytime somebody brings something up, it's a whataboutisms. Yes, we all know she did that. She is terrible. She's as what everybody sees. But stop with the whataboutisms to deflect off of your shit. This is what continues to happen when you have messy people on top of messy people calling out messy people. God damn, we got a mess. Okay, it's not that hard. Show everything coming in that you took to the billboards. Show everything going out to the billboards. It's easy. There's accounting on all of it, y'all. It's not this difficult, but we have all these people that are involving themselves who are messier than the last one that was a mess and calling it all to the carpet. All we have is a big shitstorm of people pointing fingers at each other because none of them are transparent. Okay, period. Leave Duchess out of that. She's in her own little category because I'm sorry. Anybody that's been asking her for stuff, she's been showing it. So there's that. Oh, Wolf Rider, thank you for becoming a member. Is this real life truly? Is this complicated?
How do y'all look past that?
I don't get it.
I don't
either.
get it. I don't get that.
Nope.
Like, you got a straight racist, prejudiced person up on your panel.
We're talking about money. Gets back on track here. We all know she's racist.
And y'all were just like, not only are you like,
And you still owe a correction to your entire audience on your main channel that I wasn't the one that called you, excuse me, I'm going to say the term butterhead. That wasn't me. You owe everybody a correction on that, especially me, because you fucking lied once again.
continuing to be friends with her, but you're gung-ho to defend her about everything. Even against PJ, your own friend. JP, I'm sorry, damn. I say PJ because my friends are PJ. JP, even against JP, like, I'm not saying that you're coming for JP, but damn, y'all could have had her back a little more than what you did, don't you think?
I agree with that. That I do agree with. But Brittany, again, stop using Spanky. Stop interjecting yourself because you're just a mess. You shouldn't have nothing to do with this. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm going to say it what it is. You do not have a leg to stand on in this arena, and you even interjecting yourself into this is a mess. Leave it be because you do the same shit and don't want called out for it. So there's that. But I thought it was really ironic that she was going to use Spanky as, I would just call Spanky up. Ma'am, Spanky has done the exact same thing and never shown receipts. In fact, they showed fake court documents to cover what they did. I mean, there's that. You can't get much grimier than that. So we're on round 2. So again, I encourage you guys to watch JP's video. It's really enlightening. There's a lot of questions that should be asked. I had way more after that whole thing. As far as Truth being called a bitch, you weren't really even called a bitch. She was like, bitch, please, kind of thing. Like but wow, for somebody being so thin-skinned, I distinctly remember you having a hard time with strong women. Anyways, but that really stuck. Like, that didn't land very well. Didn't land very well at all. You're lucky that's all she called you. I mean, truly. Let's see. But let's go back to the barbecue stuff for a moment before I end this one out. I think I've answered all the questions I wanted to. Transparency is needed. When you start a tip line on the back of a missing child, you are somebody I don't ever want to fuck with, sit with. There's nothing that I'm going to ever see good from you. It is what it is. Leanne, what are you asking about? Hold on. Let me go back up and see your comment. Oh, if you haven't watched that, there's a whole lot of confusion there. Are people excusing Clue and Truth because they are on their side? I don't necessarily think they're excusing them necessarily. I think a lot of people have remained silent on their behalf. A lot of people are defending them and excusing them, though, Leanne. Yeah, there's a lot of people that are like blatantly saying like they've shown enough, they've done this, they've done that. In reality, I haven't seen it. I've said that all along. Like, I'm not super invested over there. Like, not at all. I don't watch because sorry. Once I see you for what you are, there's no need. I've been hearing things. Oh, Wolf Rider, I didn't realize that was you. Thank you. You've been here all along. Yeah, it's an interesting crowd. It's a very interesting crowd of how this is all happening. But again, I go back to just off of what Leanne said. I think there's a lot of people that don't know how deep some of this got. Oh, Nicole, thank you for letting me know. I'm sure she did. I'm sure she's really upset last night. I upset her last night, but I'm just using it as an example. Like, sit all the fucking way down. Just sit all the way down. Sit all the way down. Sit all the way down. Pull out your squeaky chair and sit your fucking happy ass in it. Okay, ma'am? Thank you. Yeah, Sticky, that's intentional. That's made by design, so it shuts the conversation down. Circle talk, that's the art of circle talk. When you do not intend on being transparent, you talk people in circles and you get really defensive. So you start questioning and pushing back. So people forget that the first question that they asked that you never answered. It's this very similar to what Tony did in his. So there's that. It's made by design. Okay, back to the barbecue stuff. I'm sorry, but if anybody wants to sit with that right there and how this whole new thing is, one thing that I want to say about this whole thing is I distinctly heard clips of Chris Proudfoot going on Clues and asking everybody to stop the finger pointing and stop the blaming Seth for stuff. You know, you're entitled to your opinions and stuff, but he was really asking for people to stop that bullshit of finger pointing and pushing people, which led into, I think probably 18 hours of content of doing the exact thing he asked not to be doing. And this is supposedly people that are pro Proudfoot. Yeah, there's no respect for them whatsoever. There's zero respect because the constant pushing narratives against Seth and saying things about, like, since when did we become armchair detectives to where we should be able to access a parent of a missing child's employment records? When did that become acceptable? That random YouTubers think that they are entitled to employment records of the parent of a missing child. I'm just going to ask you that. Anybody in the comment section answer that? That's okay? Because if you think that that's okay, that random YouTubers are getting access to employment records of the parent of a missing child, or even attempting to, whether it be Betty, whether it be anybody, you've lost the game. Never should that be acceptable. Curvy Barbie, thank you so much for the support. Yeah, I know she did. I know BHB did, but any of them, they're all running with it. They're all running with it. So BHB gets it, and then they all run with it and dissect it and make it into, like, I'm sorry, but we're not entitled to that. We're not entitled to that at all. And now I hate this too, but y'all, you fuckers make this possible. And I'm sorry, I'm just going to say it what it is. So now we also have clips released on Facebook, highly edited clips of conversations between Nina and somebody. So somebody was having conversations with Nina, Chris's ex, and now has determined that it was acceptable to release certain clips of that. And so now we have another content farm off of supposed salacious clips released from Nina. There's not a full conversation that's being released. We don't know the context. We don't know when it was done. But anybody that has the intent of going in and recording these calls, you're not there for the first. You're not there for the person. You're not a friend. Yeah, I can't believe that it came to the point where people, a man, yes, he calls himself a suspect, but that's here nor there. We know that he's not even a person of interest. There's not a crime at this point in time. So for YouTubers, including Betty or Jennifer Coffendoffer or anybody, to get a hold of that information and then release it to try and like, what the fuck is happening here? I just don't understand where we are. I don't understand it. I stood against it when they were trying to impact Chris's job, and I'm going to sure as fuck stand against it when they're trying to impact Seth's job. I don't care what your personal feelings are. What's wrong is wrong. Same with Nina. I had a problem with them recording calls against Chris Proudfoot. I'm going to sure as hell have problems them recording Nina's calls. Like, you can just see the intent of these people that are doing these things. The intent is what? You don't have to record calls to convince us that they're not people you like. I mean, that's just nefarious and jump. But here we go with more salacious bullshit. And now all these things. I have issues with how Nina took the stage in the get-go. So that's not going to change anything. But I think this just shows that the intent on the other side of jamming people up, and they're doing it like in making it seem like this is stuff that Chris and Katie are putting people up to or doing on behalf of them. No, I guarantee that they don't want nothing to do with this, because at the end of the day, it impacts people they love, their children, people they care about. There's minor children involved here, people. You're not, what is this? Like, it's gross. Little snippets of a recorded call were released. It's just fucking sick. Yeah, me too, Bree. I have a problem with them calling Betty's attorney. You guys are doing the most. It's fucking crazy. Yeah, it does, alpha male. And that's exactly what Chris asked to stop. Stop the finger pointing. Stop the crazy narratives and the speculation and all of that. Stop that shit. And people are just doing the absolute most with all of it. So now we've got employment records that are being dissected all over here, there from Betty. Betty released them. Then you've got now snippets of a call with Nina, and all it is content farming. Content farming. There's no context to that. We don't know when that call was. We don't know what any of that was. I have my feelings on her from jump. It doesn't change anything, but it just keeps this narrative going, and it keeps the more division of sides. This is a missing child that should have been brought awareness to. That's it. That's all. Yeah, Deets, somebody called BHB's attorney. Yes, and sent the recording of the call to Clue, who played it. Yep, that was done, 2 weeks ago? It's fucking wild to me. Like, he blatantly asked, and he has been asking to stop the finger pointing, stop the doing this to the parents. He has specifically said, Seth, stop doing it to him. And people turn around, hear exactly what he says, twist it to fit their narrative, and continue to go on for hours on end. And these people have been a foundational problem since jump. Jay for Justice, I'm looking right at you. You came into the story pointing fingers and making up crazy narratives about people, and you continue it to this day. She's not the only one. Clue came into this going hard at the Proudfoots and then switched sides. Foundational problem. Truth came in pointing fingers right away, pushing crazy narratives under the guise of asking questions. I'm sorry, no, sir. You were absolutely taking things that you had heard and releasing it publicly in the form of a question to put shit out there. JLR, same thing. Barbecue, same thing. She got into this, created a tip line in April. I wanted that to be known. That was before Tony ever got involved. So this whole thing that Tony is the concoctor and the mastermind, no, a lot of these people are doing it without even being asked to do it. There are a lot of shit going on in the background, and these are adult choices that nobody is influencing them to do. She created that tip line, non-tip line, you know, even though it's a tip line. I don't know how the fuck you can twist that. That still mind blows. Like, I really did not anticipate that to be the answer. Oh, the good Nunya. No, not a YouTuber, a TikToker. Hold on. Let me grab my phone. A tip line. That's not a tip line. She said it wasn't a tip line. She told me that verbatim. It wasn't a tip line. I was misinformed. Of course, I'm always misinformed. I'm always misinformed. You know, me over here with just the big mouth that doesn't know shit. Okay. I mean, carry on, whichever way you want to spin it today. But the tip line, non-tip line, is tips about Sebastian at yahoo.com. Tips about Sebastian at yahoo.com. They're not tips, though. It's not a tip line about Sebastian. That's what she said verbatim when I hopped on Queens and asked her about it. It's not a tip line. But the email address is tips about Sebastian at yahoo.com. A TikToker in April. This is why I don't give energy to any of that stuff, because all they're doing is manufacturing drama. It's a content farm. There's no information. This is what they're doing for hours on end. Spanky, same thing. Spanky and his crew. BJ, same thing. Every fucking night they send off. There's these things that go. They ask the questions and then it gives one side. It's like a ping pong match. So truth comes out, asks the question. Was there an investigation? Was there this? Here comes BJ. Oh my God, how dare you do that? Like, what the fuck? Katie is the worst person ever. Like, she's a terrible mother and doesn't have any emotions. But Seth, oh my God. And it just keeps going and it just circles around. And this is what they do. Pick a side, defend the side, flip, flop, constantly. There's so much of this. These are parents of a missing child. All three of them, whether you like them or not, these are all three parents of a missing child. Yes, there's been some absolutely insane things that have been said and done. Shit that none of us can sit well with. But at the end of the day, none of us know that desperation that some people are feeling. And yes, I will say it again. Sometimes the revenge seems to outweigh or override reality. But nobody over here is going to solve this crime, if there is a crime that's ever announced. Because as of right now, we have a missing child and no indication of a crime. The only crime that's going on is Betty's and a bunch of other people. YouTubers bogging down the TBI, the FBI, with what? Drama, fucking manufactured drama off of TikTok. I understand that the TikTokers should collect all their shit, but those people aren't going to go to the TBI and the FBI because they were willing participants in fucking around with a missing child's case. You think they're going to sign up and say, oh yeah, TBI, have all my stuff. Have all my stuff. I was out here doxing people on behalf of this person, even though I didn't really know it was on behalf of that person because that person never asked me to do it. But I'm just going to say it was. No, ma'am, you're a grown-ass adult. Take accountability for yourself. They're not going to go to the TBI and report themselves for being grown-ass adults who got yucky and inserted themselves into a missing child's case. Sorry, not going to happen. YouTubers doing the same exact shit, sending salacious. Like, how are you any different? How are their sides pointing fingers at each other saying, oh, look over here, not over here? No, you're all doing the same thing. It's a content farm. You just picked a side and wrote it out. BJ, you pick a fucking side and have picked a side. I showed that a great display last night of you defending Betty calling Sebastian defective. Not once, but 9 different streams, 8 different days. I showed that. And you're still defending that Betty says it's about a missing child because it benefits you because Seth told you to fact check. And so you backtracked. That's all. Terry Lynn, problematic from jump, has inserted herself, started recording calls, inserted herself with Robin and Nina, started messing around, doing stuff, salacious shit, putting her YouTube name on the end of flyers of a missing child. Like, what? What? More than 9 times. That was just 9 different streams. You know how hard it is to even debunk this shit? Because 99% of the time it's just fabricated out of air. And to all of you running around saying that those were Sebastian's pants, fuck you. If you take Clue and barbecue as a source of factual information, I encourage you to go back. Who does that help? Who does putting misinformation out help? To paint a narrative against Seth. Who is that helping? Because it's sure as fuck not helping Chris and Katie, and it sure is not helping Sebastian. We don't need to know if they were. But I don't see anybody being charged with interfering in an investigation yet. And if they are, so be it. But as of right now, this whole planting evidence thing, this whole cook-off of kick-up of, oh, they're going to plant evidence. No, you guys all inserted yourselves as characters into a missing child's case. Main characters. Because it's what the subs want. Y'all feels worse for creators on this free motherfucking app that inserted themselves in this case than you do for the parents of a missing child or the missing child. Y'all are worried about your favorite creator getting asked for transparency and getting called to the carpet on fucking yes or no. And you want to know why I'm a cunt truth? Because I can't stand fucking lying, manipulative fucks like all of these people. And you became one of them. It's kind of interesting that you call me a cunt and can't even handle being called a bitch, though. There's that, too. This isn't a game. This is real lives that you guys are fucking with. And showing up down there and doing all these things, yay. Put up flyers, great. Do blip boards, wonderful. But do it with the intent that you want to help find this kid. Not that you're covering your own ass and getting more content to try and make it seem like you're in some cahoots with the family of a missing child. That's not happening. Chris and Katie are thankful. They will thank people. They will go out and bring flyers. They want their son found and brought home. That has never changed. So does Seth. But all of you should be ashamed of yourselves. And yes, I'm talking down to you guys because you're beneath me. Because I would never fucking ever even remotely think it's okay to set up a tip line. I would never think that it's okay to deflect when people are asking for transparency on billboards that I raised in a missing child's name. Yes, you're beneath me. I'm speaking down to some of you. Abso-fucking-lutely. You dug that hole and lay in it. You guys are digging those holes and laying in it. This is a missing 15-year-old from Hendersonville, Tennessee. His mom have asked, please bring awareness. And all you're doing is bringing fucking drama. Because it's all you guys can do. Spin fucking stories. If any of you had to stand there and be honest with yourselves for one sick fucking day, you couldn't do it. This isn't a fucking game. These are these people's real lives. You have Sweetie Pilo and Donna Serafina coming out here swinging and saying the worst shit of the worst. Well, shit, you guys are doing the same thing on Seth. You guys point fingers at Bullhorn Betty and say, oh my God, look what she does. The only difference between you and Bullhorn Betty is she gets in her car and moves. You're doing the same exact shit as she is. Tell me it's different. It's not. And that goes for all sides of this. Spanky, Brittany, Clue, Jay, Truth, Barbecue Lady, all of it. Queen, I know you host an open panel, but it's starting, like, a lot of it's coming down, and they're, in my opinion, using that opportunity to continue spreading more bullshit. Hate to say it, but I think they are. We are grown-ass adults. Any of us could be in these shoes tomorrow. Any single one of us could be in these shoes tomorrow. Tragedies happen. Missing people. There's so many people that are missing. Duchess did a great segment with a mom of a missing child who is also on the spectrum. Not a missing child, excuse me, a missing adult that has been missing for a few years. I encourage you to go listen to that live stream, hear Christina, hear the brokenness in her after years of no answers. But YouTubers out here thinking that we can do and say the most on this missing child's case. There's real people that this impacts at the end of the day. There's lives that are being impacted. Revival, that's why I'm hardly over there, because there's a lot of people that and that's just my standard. Like, if I don't fuck with those people, I check out. It's embarrassing to stand here and say, yeah, we care about the families and the victims because all these other people say that they care about the families and the victims. I guess we just care differently, right? It's embarrassing to even say that victims deserve dignity at this point, because the other people are saying the same thing while meanwhile tearing them down and re-victimizing them on a daily basis. That's embarrassing. I don't want to sit next to any of these people. Truly, I just don't. I just don't. And it's not the first case that they've done it in. It's not the first time. And it won't be the last, unfortunately, until laws change. This is out of control, and I don't know what to do. Chris made a plea for everybody to stop the finger pointing, to stop, reel it back in, base it on the facts. None of these people want to do that, though. They want to take salacious tidbits that are released here and there and paint an entire story behind it. Every day, there is so much content that I could debunk over and over and over again, because now they're just fabricating lies upon lies upon lies. And to all of you in here saying, oh my God, Becky thinks she's, I do. I think I'm better than a lot of you. Yep. Because that bar is so dug deep into the ground, I don't even have to lift a foot to walk over you. You've lowered that bar so fucking low and dug yourselves in there. So if you think I'm better than you, yes, chances are I am. Because I would never fucking do that shit to a family of a missing child, no matter how much I dislike them, no matter how much I question about their story. I would never do this shit. I would never think it's acceptable to create a tip line to funnel tips away from the TBI, the FBI, on a missing child. Never think that's okay. I would never think it's okay to raise money off the back of a missing child and not be transparent. And then when called out for transparency, I use faith manipulation, and God knows my heart. So does the fucking devil. And yet they turn around and call other people to the carpet for manipulation. The fuck out of here. All it's became is a race to see who can be the grimiest at this point in time. That's it. That's all. These people aren't new. They don't need handheld. They've made it 40 plus years in their lives. Why all of a sudden do they need a fucking... Why? Why now do they need somebody to walk them hand in hand and, oh, this isn't acceptable? They ain't fucking new. They've been living on this earth. These are standard common procedures in life. Just because you're on YouTube doesn't mean shit. Doesn't give you a buffer zone of being a grimy piece of shit. You have people out here trying to shame some of us, trying to go at some of us, trying to go real life and using it a guise of, oh, they're not being transparent. No, bitch, I stood up for a friend that was being transparent. That's it. And you took every opportunity to try and come at me. And meanwhile, took digs at special needs community and transgender community. That's a you thing again. You're a grimy ass bitch. Stay the fuck over there. Sit over there. Y'all are fucking about the same. Calling the parents of a missing child a lard ass. Calling them fat bastards. The fuck? Have some of you looked in the goddamn mirror? Just wondering. Or are they funhouse mirrors that you only see yourself in the light that you want to put yourself in, the angle that you want to put yourself? Because what the fuck? And yeah, bitch, I'm ugly. I got a dick nose. I got a fupa, and I am proud of it. And I got lopsided titties, okay? Put that on all your thumbnails, Tiffany Marie. Ride that bitch home all day long. but I don't have to disguise my filth under the I'm doing something good and asking for transparency. No, bitch, sit down. You were pissed because Duchess wouldn't give you fucking text messages from some, I think Penny, some chick. And you said to her that you were going to come calling on her and be ready when that happened. And so you took the opportunity of thinking that Duchess wasn't being transparent to do all this. That's all you did. It's a personal thing for you. A lot of you are using personal fucking hatred for other people to do the most, to say the most. And some of you are all just fucking grimy. This whole hero thing that they think they're going to do with, we might be involved. None of you are going to ever be involved in solving a missing child's case. I'm sorry. You can't even find your fucking way out of a wet paper bag. Most of you only have skills for nefarious shit. To cover your asses, to cover the lie after lie after lie that you've told. None of these parents deserve this. None of these grandparents deserve this. None of it. Deets. It popped out there. Oh, yeah, the bay. Shush. I don't want to sit with these people. Sorry. If that makes me snobby, whatever. I don't want to sit with people that think it's okay to be racist. I don't want to sit with people that think it's okay to be bigots. I don't want to sit with people that think it's okay to mislead and misappropriate funds on the back of a missing child. I don't want to sit with you motherfuckers, okay? I don't know why that's so hard to be like, what the fuck? Oh my God, they think, no. These are real lives, real families. They don't get to shut this off. Y'all have concocted and fabricated drama for the last 5 fucking months. I remember who was on the ground day fucking 1 in the neighborhoods, taunting the families, recording shit. JLR, Clue, Terry Lynn, Dolly. I remember who all was there from the beginning. They flip-flopped here and there. They made apologies. Has their behavior changed? No. Apologies only matter when the behavior changed. Just because you flip from one side of the parents to the other doesn't mean anything's changed. Nothing has changed in this story from jump. Nothing. Besides the continual abuse, the re-victimization of victims. That's what's continued. Is abusing the people that love this missing child. Meanwhile, I've been hearing creators say that they love this kid so much. The fuck? If this is how you love somebody, to abuse their parents, sorry. I don't ever want to know that type of love. If this is loving this child, to abuse his loved ones, re-victimize his loved ones, and call it love and concern and care, get the fuck out of here. Because at the end of the day, that child loves all of his parents. No matter what we think, that child loves his folks. Everybody knows, if you've lived any type of life, that you dislike your parents. But no matter how fucked up shit is, you still have this weird love for them, even if it can be horrifying. So now we package care and concern for the missing child with abusing his loved ones. I got it. Mr. Tomato Head absolutely was. 100% was. Still is. And he found the people to align himself with that would take full advantage of that and push it to this. Absolutely. 100%. If he would have had somebody that actually gave a shit about him and said, no, we don't need to do that. We don't need to do that. We shouldn't be doing that. If any of those people would have cared about him or the missing child, they would have said, no, we're not doing that. Who? Who did I bring up a racist? Penny Monroe. Clue before I knew she was a racist. Sure as fuck did. And Penny. And you haven't seen her over here again, right? By the way, Penny Monroe, BJ over there, your little buddy that you're simping for. Yeah. She not only does that once, but she's also brought up people that shame transgenders. She's also brought up people that have gone at people in my comment section and then said, as a white woman, that it wasn't racist, even though, yeah, that's a whole other story. But carry on. Fuck yeah, Chopper. I do too. Absolutely. Rockabit, JLR, and Magnolia are still in the middle of it. They just flip sides. They've been being fed information all along. People, that's why I get so irritated when people say that my friends talk to the Proudfoots all the time. No, Duchess does not talk to the Proudfoots all the time. Duchess has never done that. She has never taken the opportunity to try to sell things that they've told them and package it. No, there's a huge nope. If they need something, they can reach out to her. They know. Alpha male, good question. That's weird. That's weird. I'm sorry, random strangers. Yeah, no. Mm-mm. Yep. And now we're taking sides on a Nina conversation that we have very little context to, but we're okay with what's been done to Katie. We're okay with all the abuse that Katie has endured, but meanwhile, saying that what's being said about Nina is unacceptable. Get the fuck out of here. It's all wrong. All of it. Just another troll. We're going to the gutter further. We're going to the gutter because this will stir up people and then they'll drag me. And you know what? Maybe dragging me. Go ahead. Feel free. Drag me all over. I won't even pay attention. Talk about me. Leave the family alone for a day. Talk all the shit. Say Becky's on her fucking high horse thinking she's better than everybody. Sure as fuck am. Drag me. Leave the family alone for a day. Do that. Because all they're going to do is continue to do this. Wash, rinse, repeat. It's the same thing. It's going to continue as long as Sebastian is missing. And then it will continue on after Sebastian is found and there's an answer because they don't care. They don't give a shit. It's not going to end. And then it'll be the next family that comes up. It's going to continue until laws are passed. That's why we're moving into an action phase. A lot of us are sick and tired of this and deciding that something has to be done on the back end. And all of us that are pissed off enough are starting to figure something out that can move it into an action phase because laws have to be passed. Victims deserve better. Their families deserve better. I ride a donkey, Deets, not a horse. So I should have said, like, me and my jackass are coming to play. I can't get on a horse anymore. I'm too old. I need a ladder and my hips hurt too bad. If we're being honest. What's Mr. Nice Guy want? Hold on, let me go back up. What do I need to address? Mr. Nice Guy, I already said that I think that panel's being used to push off a lot of this shit. A zonkey? But you saw all that, yeah. You saw the people in there defending him. Oh my God, how dare you speak poorly to him? Fuck, oh dear. Like what? I'm sorry, people are treated the way I match energy. Some of you don't deserve respect, period, because you've shown us who you are. That's it. So now that I riled up, holy shit, there's 606. Are you guys that bored on a Monday? I will never fuck with adults who think it's okay to start tip lines. TikTokers, stay the fuck over there. Sit there. Do your thing. Not entertained. Not whatsoever. Stephen Crabtree, I have hope for you, but man alive, you are either one of the most naive motherfuckers I've ever seen, or you just intentionally get involved with the worst of the worst. And there's part of me that feels bad because I don't think you see the writing on the wall that's about to come. You're just going to be used and spit out and shoot up again from the other side when they're done with you. I mean, I just don't understand it. I want to have hope that you really are in this for, I'm so confused. I try to have hope for some of these people still, and it's just disappointing. Should be interference in an active investigation, Angel Sleuth. Truly, it should be a charge. It really should. Can you imagine what law enforcement is going through? Let's take a step back. Not only the family of this missing child, but can you imagine what law enforcement is having to deal with just because people on social media decided to interfere with this case? Just the shit that Terry Lynn has done. Her. Just the fucking chaos and the misinformation and the rumors, poker parties, fucking finding items, sending misinformation intentionally to creators to get them to run with it. And she picked the ones that would run with a lot of this shit. Then the dog handlers, like, think about all of this shit that law enforcement has had to weed through on top of just trying to find a missing child. Thanks, Richard. I am too. Should be jaded. Yep. Oh, well, Dietz, I'll take it up a notch. Dietz says, last time I had this convo, I got accused of wanting to shut down true crime channels. Well, these people aren't anything I would consider true crime. These are the scummiest of the scummy that walk amongst us and package their disgusting, grimy behavior as true crime while exploiting and profiting off of others' pains. They're the Nancy Graces of the low end of the field. They're over there. These are the people that walk amongst us. There should not be an opportunity for this to be done, period. It's not about canceling true crime channels. It's about victims have rights. Victims deserve better across the fucking board. If you stand for the victims and their families, none of this shit would be allowed, period. I don't care. It would be shut down. None of this would be acceptable if you stand for victims and their families and the continued harassment that they've endured. You're not going to say it's bad what Betty is doing and then encourage it to be done to Seth. You're not going to do that. Sorry. How many kids out there have been missing? Let's go look. Let's take a class tour before I end this today. Yes, I'm acting like I'm a fucking teacher because I get that one all the time too. I'm a fucking hall monitor. I'm a dirty, I don't even know, trash bag, Karen ass, petty Betty, fucking, I don't even know all the adjectives I am at this point in time, nor do I give a fuck, because none of your opinions about me are going to change who I am. Sorry, at the end of the day, that's just the truth. None of you are going to change who I am. I have to go to sleep and look at myself in the mirror. And I would never be able to do that if I did half the shit that most of you are doing and being okay with it. Let's go look here. Let's go to the TBI website right quick. Let's go to Tennessee. All right. Tennessee's missing children. Let's go. Let's go over here. Let's share this one. Share this tab instead. Let's go over here. Okay. Tennessee, this is from TBI's website right here. Just so you guys can see everything right here. Tennessee's missing children. I want you to look at these. Missing since May 27th, 2024, 17 years old. Janaea Wheeler. Oh, some of these names I'm going to have a hard time with. Quinea Hester, June 18th, 2024, Clarksville, Tennessee, 16 years old. Brianna Wims, 16 years old, September 1st, 2024, Kingsport. 17, Malachi, August 22nd, 2024. What do you notice? 16, Janaea, February 13th, 2024. From Memphis, July 10th, 2024, 17, Memphis. Clintisha Cobbins. Christy Corrells, August 29th, 2024, 16 years old, Livingston, Tennessee. Unique Allen. Goodlettsville, Tennessee, 15 years old, August 4th, 2024. Right there, next to Hendersonville. Kaylee, March 22nd, 2024, 17, Clarksville, Tennessee. Franklin Crabtree, December 30th, 2023. Oh, sorry, Kaylee is 2024. Franklin is 2023, December 30th, 2023. 16 years old, Greenville, Tennessee. You can see them. I'm just going to continue to scroll. 2023, 2024. Look at all of them. 14 years old from 2023. 16. What do you notice about all these missing children? More 2024. May 15th, 2024. May 29th, 2023. June 5th, 2024. This is just Tennessee. May 27th, 2024. October 27th, 2023. Resolved. These are resolved. These two right here are resolved. February 20th, 2024. Memphis, Tennessee. 14 years old. 14 years old. April 12th, 2024. Nashville. August 3rd, 2023. 14 years old. Bedford County. Look at all these faces. Look at all of them. And it just keeps going on and on and on. May 28th, 2008. A 1-year-old from Knoxville. A 6-year-old. These are siblings. Look at all those faces. Tell me what's wrong with this picture out here on social media. Look at all those faces that deserve to be brought home. Crime Traveler, a couple of them say resolved, but most of them do not. That's just what's on the TBI website. You can go to the Charlie Project. You can go to NCMEC. You can go find all the more. This is why Arctic and Duchess do what they do. They put these faces out there constantly all day long. That's what they do. They create flyers. They give updates. They try to track these cases. So if there is something that's found, they update. It's a lot of work. They bust their asses doing this. And that is just Tennessee. There are so many across the country. My local area in Arizona outside of Phoenix it's mind-blowing. We have cases from the 80s, cold cases here that have never been solved with missing people. So many of them. It's sad. It is what it is. And with that, that's all I have to say. I don't know where it goes from here. It's going to continue to evolve into a bigger shit show because these people don't care. They don't care what they're doing. They don't care that this is a real family at the end of the day. They don't care. And I'm not going to change anything to get these people to care. These are people that just don't care. This is who they are. They've shown you that time and time again. They get to sit there. Jared Brooks. Yep. But until things change and social media catches up and says, no, victims have rights. Victims and their families deserve protection. Victims and their families deserve peace. I can't. I have no words for what this is happening. Freaking protection orders, nonsense, disgusting. Sadly, people are arguing over that. People are arguing over if that's even something that should be allowed. What? There are laws against stalking, harassment, cyber stalking. There's laws against this. And now we have true crime creators who say they're true crime, First Amendment constitutionalists that can't even fucking read a book, obviously, or understand how any of that works, saying that it's wrong for these families to protect themselves and use the courts to do so when victims have protections. This is not free speech. that ended a long time ago. You don't have the right to destroy these families like some of you have made a job out of doing. It's not our right. We're not entitled to this information. Minors cannot consent. Sebastian cannot consent to any of this stuff being done. Just another troll. I have, and you know that. You had a problem with it before. I have always spoke up against this shit and will continue to. I will continue to speak up against the grimy creators who continue to use these families and their victims. And you know what? It brings awareness to the fact that people think that this is a career, that this is okay. I don't know how you've missed that point, but it is what it is. Yeah, right, Smiles? Yeah. Laws need to catch up. Yep, laws need to protect these. But they're too busy over here wasting resources over bullshit, manufactured, fabricated drama with creators and who planted what and who said something where. Spy be me too. I just hope that the court continues to hold them up. And now there's concoctions about mind control. The fucking sounds in videos are mind control. Are you guys okay? Are you motherfuckers okay? Seriously. That somebody is paying these people, they might be FBI informants on felony probation and parole. Motherfuckers, are you okay? They have a lot better assets if they wanted to pick somebody smart and intelligent for an informant. I'm sorry, what? They're making extra work for the police, candy wrapper. I cannot believe some of the conspiracy theories that are coming out of this, like some of the straight up conspiracy theories. But then again, I can't, because you have people like Mob Crew over there who is pushing the same video about the, this supposed car and this and that. And law enforcement is on this. But we have creators who are fabricating narratives of what you possibly see in the lights that has been done for 6 months. And now they're just up in the game a little bit and telling you more. The power of suggestion is a mighty fine thing out here. Yeah. Yeah, and attorneys getting involved. Oh, yeah. Oh, Lord. Anyways, okay, there's my Monday rant. It's going to be a wonderful week. Drag me. Say all the things about me. Talk all this shit. Please do. Leave the family alone. Come at me, you thin spine bitches. I'll just laugh at you and repost your memes because I find them to be more of a reflection of who you are than anything about me. You sit there, not me. You take, a lot of you keep trying to take passes at me. You try to take a swipe at me and you swipe entire communities because you're so big and bad. Fucking keep on. Keep on swiping. You forgot, though, you're on YouTube, not the free dating app you signed up for. Yikes. Yeah, it was yelling at you. Ava, I haven't even really raised my voice that much. That's the crazy thing is the more aggressive and firm you speak and when you stand firmly on shit and you don't have to like backtrack and remember what you said different yesterday than today. And you just stand here all the time because it's not really hard to not be a shitty human being that looks for any opportunity to exploit victims going through their worst. When you have passion behind that, people are really like, oh my God, she yells all the time. She's such an angry, miserable person. I live a beautiful life. I have a beautiful family. You people piss me off because you're scum that we walk amongst. It is what it is. I don't deserve anything more than anybody else in this universe. I don't think I'm entitled. But I also know that I'm not a fucking shitty human being that exploits families at their worst moments. You guys are the ones that think you're entitled to profit off of others' pain. With that said, I'm going to go back to my beautiful life of cussing Dexter out because he's bugging me, all right? And I hope everybody has a beautiful life, truly. But some of you deserve the shit that you sit in, truly. All right. Have a good day. Bye, y'all. Thanks for listening to me vent.